You know, again, Massachusetts and Rhode Island are in the same PARCC test. But the fact is that Achieving, who is developing the PARCC test, has been around for about 20 years. And the thing that's common, actually, with all of the people that worked on Common Core, the organizations, the Governors Association, Council of Chief State School Officers, Achieving, the Shanker Institute at American Federation for Teachers, the Fordham Institute, none of these people in the last 20 years can point to one place where they've actually improved student achievement. Not one place. It's startling. It's really startling. But in particular, Achieving has no experience in 20 years of ever working on student tests or assessments. They have no experience. That was never what they've ever been a part of, any of the work that they've ever engaged in before. So you have people that have never done this work before. You have the people that drafted have never done this work before, and they can't point to any success. I have to say, we've done some events. Pioneer Institute has done some events with Deborah Gist, who's the commissioner, and on some things I've been impressed with about her. I think she's a very courageous woman in a lot of ways. When she was the head of the DC public schools, she actually took Dr. Stosky's standards and brought them in the DC public schools. So she should know better, frankly. But the fact is, on this, and on the issue of these 21st century skills that sort of run parallel to Common Core, she's been horrendous.
Jamie, let me speak about the teacher issue.
I have asked a few teachers, particularly in Arkansas, where I was for a few years, if they could point out the standards that they think they helped to create in the document, and of course they can't. They can say, I sent in many suggestions, but none of them were ever used. None of them got into the document. I don't think that any teacher would want to take credit for those statements. I mean, you'd have to read those English language arts standards, and they're pretty awful, most of them, especially in the higher grades, 6 to 12. I don't know what English teacher who has pride in their own work would want to take credit for some of those statements that are there. They're paraphrases of paraphrases of paraphrases of an anchor standard, and they are simply not good examples of English prose. This is something I happen to be very obsessive about. If there is one document that should be written in good English, it is an English language arts standards document. And these statements, in January, when I saw the first real draft of grade level standards, half of them were gibberish. And I wrote that, and I gave all my examples. I still have copies of that criticism. And I sent it to the standards writers, to the headquarters of the two organizations.